Are you a Jedi?
Dude,
Seriously?
well, hello there, everybody. 'Tis I, Photo Dave, and this is Toypixx. If this is your first or 100th time on the channel, Toypixx is all about action figure photography. So oftentimes I'll talk about action figures. I'll talk about photography. I'll talk about photo tips and tricks. I'll talk about dio accessories. Basically, I'll talk about anything that can make your action figure photos better than what they currently are. And hey, I might even get to pick up on a lesson or two from you guys. So, I dig it. And if that sounds like something you dig, go ahead and click that subscribe button while I take a sip out of this empty coffee mug. Acting! Anywho, today's video was going to be all about yesterday's Star Wars livestream on Hasbro Pulse, but then DHL decided to drop off my childhood a day early, and I decided, let's talk about that instead. That's right, friends. DHL dropped off the S H Figuarts Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian, even if he basically looks like Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker with a cloak, a day early. So, I'm kind of geeked, and I'm eager to talk about him. So let's do that right after El Intro. And folks, here he is. If you grew up in the 80s, this is your childhood. Okay, maybe not everyone's, but he certainly represented a huge chunk of mine. Luke Skywalker, growing up, was basically the man. I have to say, though, I have to be honest, I didn't recognize it as a kid. For me, Han Solo was the man, but so was Yoda, which is kind of a strange little difference. Anywho, this is a beautiful figure. And I do have to say, a lot of times I want to try and do impressions of people to try and make the reviews more interesting. I gotta say, doing an impression of Mark Hamill's Joker, super easy for me. Doing an impression of Mark Hamill's Mark Hamill, not easy at all. So hopefully once I have a little more time, I'll be able to bring those reviews back. But here he is. In all, I would say his Mark Hamill glory. I mean, that's a really sweet face sculpt. That just looks good. Again, I haven't had a Luke in a while. Don't know if that's a big deal. But I think that looks really good. Now, this is going to come as a photographer's point of view. You know that other channels will have regular reviews of this bad boy up and running. But for me, it's all about photography, so I'm not going to bother with too much. He does have really sweet articulation. I'm sure you'll see that on other people's video. I will show one articulation point that I really like on this. Like, it's sweet. It's something that I don't know how they did it, but they did it, and it's very cool. Obviously, you just saw the likeness of the man, and yeah. It's hard to look at this and not just sit here and say, yep, he's cool, done, but I'll do my best. So now, on to the accessories. But before we get into accessories, yeah, you can tell that I don't do this all that often. You know, reviews. I like videos. So check this out. This is where you would normally have a bicep swivel, right in here. But there is no bicep swivel, and yet look at this. Because of the way they did the butterfly joint, and I'm not the right guy to sit here and try and pull them apart and tell you exactly how they did it, I can just show you the functionality. because of the way they did that butterfly joint, check this out, and I'm sure it's not technically a butterfly joint that makes it happen, but hey, you've got quite a bit of back. You've got, come on now, you're up, and I don't know, I don't have tons of SHF figures either. I tried to say SH Figuarts, didn't come out quite right. So this might be standard on some, but I know the Mando and Boba I do have the bicep cut, so it might be kind of newish too, and it's just really cool to me. So anyway, you saw how it worked going back. Now look at how far forward that goes. That's a sweet butterfly joint, and he's got something in there. Maybe it's more at the shoulder instead of the bicep. But you can get this turn, and look how far across without a bicep joint you can get Luke's hand to go. I don't know about you, I just find that really cool, and I know it's going to be great for photos because it's going to be nice not having that big cut right in the bicep. So I'm really excited about that joint. Like I say, I don't know how, I just know it works, and it looks good. So now, that was the one point of articulation I wanted to show you. We will get to the accessories. And now let's get a little bit into accessories because, hey, accessories make the figure way more photogenic, especially when there's a bunch of hands and heads. Now, one thing to bring up real quick, he does not come with another head, but I think when we think about Luke in his Jedi gear, when we think about him on Mando, he's a pretty calm guy. I don't see him freaking out all that much. This is probably the perfect head sculpt for this version of Luke Skywalker. So even though he doesn't come with another head, I'm gonna be okay with it. I'm gonna make an excuse for it. Now, obviously, he's got his lightsaber, which just clips onto his belt pretty easily. It's a good lightsaber. I don't know. Ooh, let's get my hand in focus. Maybe there we go. I don't know all the nuances of all the different lightsabers and all the different media, so I can't tell you if it's 100% accurate. I can tell you that it's 100% cool, except I will show you one piece that kind of bugs me. The end of the lightsaber comes out, and it's a tiny, tiny piece. Oops. Like, look at that thing. Very small. So make sure you're being careful when you have that going on. You want to put that in a Ziploc bag, put it back in the box, whatever it takes. Just, be really careful not to lose that thing. Because otherwise, you can't put it on his belt. Well, that's no fun. But if you don't want it on his belt anyway, you've got this, which plugs into the hilt. His good old-fashioned... Good Lord, I really have to zoom in on my fingers to make this happen. You've got his good old-fashioned lightsaber, and that thing is beautiful. It works so well. I did shoot a picture with it. You'll see it in the thumbnail of this video, in fact. It's just your standard green lightsaber. Very Luke, very cool stuff. You've got the swinging lightsaber, which I think is even better. I didn't use this one yet. I don't know what I'm going to do as far as action's concerned when it comes to this guy, but I'm sure I'll think of something. But this is sweet. I haven't ever gotten a lightsaber that's like this, where it just focuses on the swinging aspect. And now if we get into the hands, we've got his right hand, kind of a force-using hand. We have a fist, a little bit here. Hard to see, but it is a fist. Sorry about that. I'll adjust the lights eventually. And then we have just kind of a nice, relaxed hand. And of course, on him is his lightsaber wielding hand, because you need that. Also on him, on his left side, is just kind of a chill left hand. Then we have this left hand, which is the other one that would hold the lightsaber. So good stuff there. And I'm dropping things. We have this one, because Luke needs to punch people, I guess, once in a while. So we've got that fist. We have what I would say is another Force-using hand. Let's see here. Nothing too crazy, just really opened up. And we have a hand where it's almost like a resting hand, like the perfect hand if you had a triggered weapon, where the gun would rest on this hand, but he doesn't have a triggered weapon because he's Luke friggin' Skywalker and he doesn't need a triggered weapon. So anyway, don't know what I'm going to do with that hand yet. Maybe somebody in the comments can let me know. So yeah, those are the accessories except for one, and I'm about to talk about it. Now, one thing I wanted to touch on real quick before we get to his last accessory. When it comes to his hands, they pop on and off really easily. But, check this out. This might just be my copy. It might not be a widespread thing, but there aren't too many reviews of this guy out there yet, so I'm not sure. When I pull his hand out, the rest of the joint kind of pulls out. Now, it's not a big deal because it just hangs out there, doesn't do anything, doesn't fall completely out. And then when you put a hand back on, oh, come on, click on there. Don't make me a liar on YouTube. There we go. When you put the hand back on there, and Luke, we gotta be careful about those joints, it disappears again. So it's nothing that I think you'll have to worry about, but it's something on my copy that you might want to pay attention to on yours. And now we get into the final accessory, which is cool, but I've never had something like this, so I'm having a tough time working it. I'm sure with practice I'll get better at it. I said on Twitter yesterday that my initial reaction was the figure and the accessories are great, but the cloak is tough to work with. Now, put it on. It's not hard to put it over his head. No big deal there. We're good there. Looks pretty good over his head. So it's all right. He's got wire that runs along the inside here of just that piece. And then the other wire runs along the bottom of it. And I don't know, like, to me it almost feels like it's really tight wire because it's hard to get it to do much without completely affecting everything else. I'm not used to wires on the bottoms of figures. Most of what I have, I mean, all the capes I have are Mafex capes, so they tend to run down the sides, and it does make it easier for me to work with. But you can see this it's not that it's insanely difficult, it's just, it's different. So I feel like if you don't have something like this with a cape that runs, or with a wire that runs along the bottom of the cape, that it might just take some getting used to. I know I'm gonna take a little bit, but check that out. That looks pretty good. Zoom out just a touch. Great, I zoom out and then it does that. That looks pretty good, I think. I think the whole look, the silhouette that it cuts, I think it does a good job. I think it's a really good look on the cloak. It's just that it's tough to work with, so right now I'm preferring the look without the cloak. And now it's size comparison time, because people like that. So, Mando is a little taller than he would normally be, because I got one of those John Walker Customs pegs to elevate his neck a bit. Everybody else, just about right. And right now, this is my SHF Star Wars collection, and great googly moogly, I wish I'd started getting these way back when they were first released. Because, man, those prices now, they're killing me. And I really, really need some of those older figures. And I'm hoping that SHF either does some re-releases or starts getting serious about making some new Star Wars figures in the future. I don't have a ton of Black Series, but I do have Yoda and Grogu, so there's that size comparison. Size comparison it is. My Frank Oz needs work. No need to fear, folks. At least when it comes to the Black Series, he is indeed a little short for a stormtrooper. And because you can't have a size comparison without throwing in some Marvel Legends, here's Luke with the last two Marvel Legends in my collection. So what do I have to say about this Skywalker? I'll tell you, he's going to be great for photos. If you're into figure photography, and if you're into Star Wars, if you're into articulation, if you're into all the stuff that can just make your pictures incredible, this Luke is not gonna disappoint. And that was that, folks. That was my review, real quick, from a photographer's perspective, of the S H Figuarts Luke Skywalker. Sweet figure. I really dig him. I'm super stoked to have him in the collection. I don't know that you can find him on the regular sites right now. You might be able to find him on some Japanese sites, but I'm just not sure. One place I know you'll be able to find him for a premium at this point, I'm sure, is eBay. So hopefully you'll get some restocks on those Japanese sites and he'll come back. But as always, I'm going to leave other figures that you saw in the product description below. Those are Amazon affiliate links for those. So if you pick them up, just click on those links. If you need to pick them up, click on those links and it'll take you right to where you want to go. And even if you decide not to, clicking on those links and buying something on Amazon, just something you'd normally buy, is something that really helps out the channel. So if you can do that, I certainly appreciate it. If not, well, hey, I appreciate the view. So this Luke Skywalker, from what I understand, and I haven't had a Luke in quite a while, is the best Luke Skywalker ever created. Now, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't had one in a while. So comment below with what your favorite Luke Skywalker action figure of all time is. And don't forget to like, subscribe. Even disliking helps the algorithm. Share the video. And have fun. And happy snapping. See ya. I have no idea how I did that.